You know, we've all chatted with AI, right? We ask it questions and it gives us answers. But what if AI could do more than just talk? What if it could actually act on your behalf? Well, that's the incredible promise of AI agents. And today we're going to dive into how this leap from just conversation to real action is completely changing the game.
So what's the real difference here? It's actually super simple. A chatbot gives you information. An AI agent takes action. Think about it like this. It's the difference between asking, "What's the weather?" and saying, looks like rain, and then having an agent actually order you an umbrella that arrives before you even leave the house. One talks, the other does. All right, so here's our game plan for this explainer. We'll start by moving beyond the chatbot to see what makes an agent tick. Then, we'll get into the anatomy of an agent, the core components. After that, we'll check out the design patterns that make them work so well. We'll also dig into making them smarter and, importantly, safer. And finally, we'll get a little peek into the future, a world where agents work together as a team.
Right, so an agent's whole purpose isn't just to chat, it's to act. And this isn't some far-off sci-fi thing. We're talking about an agent that could analyze your company's sales data and just generate a full performance report for you. Or a personal agent that plans your entire vacation, from booking the flights to making dinner reservations. I mean, the possibilities here are just huge.
So how in the world do these agents actually pull this off? Well, it turns out that every single AI agent, no matter how simple or complex it is built from three essential parts. The best way to think about it is, well, like a living thing, really. It's got a brain, it's got memory, and it's got hands to interact with the world. First up, you have the large language model, or LLM. This is the agent's brain. And look, you don't need to be a data scientist to get this. Just know that this part of the AI has some serious reasoning power. It understands what you want, it thinks through the problem, and it creates a logical step-by-step plan to get the job done. It's the strategist. Next up is memory. This is what gives the agent context, what allows it to learn and get better. Short-term memory is simple. It just helps it follow the current conversation. But the real magic, that's in long-term memory. For instance, if you tell it you're a vegetarian just one time, it'll remember that preference forever and only suggest vegetarian places in the future. See, no more repeating yourself.
And finally, an agent needs tools. These are its hands. They're what let it reach out into the digital world and do real stuff. These tools are usually things called APIs, which are basically just bridges that let different software programs talk to each other. So when an agent books a flight, its tool is just the airline's API. It's kind of like brushing your teeth. Your brain has the plan, your memory knows you like mint toothpaste, and your hands use the tools, the toothbrush and the paste, to actually do the work.
Okay, so we've got the brain, the memory, and the tools. But how do you get them all to, work together without just spinning their wheels? That's where design patterns come in. Think of these as the proven blueprints, the strategies that developers use to orchestrate all these moving parts and make agents genuinely effective. So at the very heart of every agent is this fundamental cycle. This is its engine. It takes your big, messy request and first, it deconstructs it into smaller, manageable pieces. Then it creates a plan. Then it selects the right tool for each step. And finally, it executes those actions, one by one. This simple loop is what turns a command into a completed task.
Now, building on top of that core loop, we get some really sophisticated patterns. Tool use is all about connecting to other systems, like your work calendar or your company's CRM, to get real-time useful info. Planning is what breaks down a huge goal, like that 3-day vacation, into a series of smaller logical steps. And then there's Agentic WAG. Whoa, this one is a real game changer. It doesn't just find information, it can figure out that a piece of information is missing and then proactively use a tool to go find it. That's how it can answer truly complex questions.
All right, so these agents are getting incredibly powerful. But you know what they say, right? With great power comes great responsibility. As we start giving agents more and more critical tasks, we absolutely have to make sure they're smart, safe, and reliable. So let's look at the principles for building systems we can actually trust.
A really key idea here is metacognition. It's a fancy word, but it just means thinking about thinking. It's basically self-awareness for an AI. This is what allows an agent to reflect on its own performance, to learn from its mistakes, and get better over time. So if you tell it you always prefer a window seat, a metacognitive agent will just remember that for all future bookings. It's how they go from being a simple tool to a true assistant.
And that brings us to these three big principles for good agent design. Space just means making the agent's abilities and its limits crystal clear.
Time is all about making sure the agent improves with experience, like we just talked about. And core is about giving you, the user, ultimate control. The best analogy is a self-driving car. You need to know exactly what it can do, it should learn from every single trip, and you must always have the ability to grab the wheel.
This brings us to a massive question. When an agent is about to make a decision that has real-world consequences, I'm talking about executing a stock trade or maybe deleting a critical company database, how do we make sure it doesn't make a catastrophic mistake?
And the answer is actually simple, but it's also incredibly powerful. You always keep a human in the loop. It's a built-in safety mechanism. For those really critical actions, the agent has to stop and get explicit approval from a person before it can move forward. This makes sure there's always a layer of human judgment right where it matters most.
So far, we've been talking about single agents working all on their own. But what happens when we put them together? The real future of AI, and where this all gets truly exciting, is in creating teams of specialized agents that can collaborate to solve problems way too complex for any single agent to handle alone.
And they can work together in a few different ways. In a group chat model, you have a manager agent who delegates tasks, kind of like a travel agent, coordinating with separate flight, hotel, and car rental agents to build your perfect trip. In a handoff pattern, agents work like an assembly line, where each one completes one part of a job and passes it to the next. And with collaborative filtering, multiple agents can offer their unique perspectives, like a team of specialist AI doctors all collaborating on a complex medical diagnosis. It's incredible stuff.
So, think about the journey we just took. In just a few minutes, we've gone all the way from the simple building blocks of an AI agent to these complex, collaborative teams of the very near future. This evolution, from a tool that just answers questions to a partner that takes action, it represents a truly fundamental shift in what artificial intelligence can and will achieve. And that leaves us with one final, fascinating question to think about. As these increasingly intelligent AI agents begin to collaborate with each other on a massive scale, what new worlds will they build? What problems that we think are unsolvable today will they solve tomorrow? The future is unwritten, but one thing is for sure, it's going to be built by teams.